So, who's the top 10 of 2010 in the WWE and TNA? At number 10, The Miz. This was Miz's breakout year. He would kick it off as the U.S. champion, having wins over the likes of MVP and R-Truth. Simultaneously, he would hold the unified tag titles with the Big Show and pick up successful title defense against former partner John Morrison and R-Truth. Then his big moment came in the summer when he won Money in the Bank. By the end of the year, he would have a successful cash-in and end the year beating Randy Orton in a tables match. At number 9, AJ Styles. AJ's year was phenomenal, pun intended. He started the year off as world champion and under the tutelage of Ric Flair. He'd beat Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe in a no DQ match, and Pope D'Angelo De Niro in a cage match. After his title run, he would find himself as a member of Fortune, often leading them to victory. Fortune began a war with EV2 that saw AJ beat Tommy Dreamer in a brutal I Quit match and an 8-man tag match that resulted in Sabu being fired. This is AJ's 7th appearance in the top 10. Last year, he was number 1. At number 8, Rey Mysterio. Ever the underdog, Rey Mysterio was in an uphill battle at every turn. First came his clash with the Straight Edge Society. CM Punk tried in vain to force Rey to join. They traded wins until the final wager. If Punk won, Rey would join. If Rey won, Punk would shave his head. By the end, Punk had a new hairstyle. Rey's biggest highlight would come at Fatal 4-Way when he would beat Jack Swagger, Big Show, and Punk in a Fatal 4-Way to win the world title. He would then beat Swagger and the next month to retain it. After his run, he would pick up 2 very big elimination tag matches victories, as he and Edge would win for Team SmackDown at Bragging Rights, and he and Big Show would beat Alberto Del Rio's team at Survivor Series. At number 7, Jeff Hardy. The charismatic enigma made his return to TNA, and by the end of the year, he definitely made an impact. He was a part of Team Hogan as they defeated Team Flair in Lethal Lockdown. Then he began a friendly alliance with Mr. Anderson. After their match, which Hardy won, they formed a tag team unofficially known as the Charismatic Assholes. They would score a big win against Beer Money Incorporated. But this was short-lived, as Jeff Hardy would shock the world, not just by beating Kurt Angle and Anderson in a triple threat to win the world title, but he aligned himself with Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff, screwing over Angle and Anderson to form Immortal. He would dub himself the Antichrist of Wrestling. He would end the year by beating Matt Morgan in back-to-back pay-per-views to regain his title, each time with the help from Immortal. This is Hardy's 2nd appearance in the top 10, his last being back in 2007. At number 6, John Cena. Cena had a huge year filled with ups and downs. He won the world title at Elimination Chamber in said match, only to have Vince McMahon come out and have Batista wrestle him for the belt immediately after. Cena would lose, but would regain it at WrestleMania. He would meet and defeat Batista 2 more times, once in a last man standing match, and once in an I Quit match, each time walking away with his world title. However, this would lead to his battle with the Nexus. The group targeted Cena, causing him to not only lose his title, but making sure he couldn't regain it. Cena was able to lead a group of WWE superstars against the Nexus in an elimination match at SummerSlam, where Cena would walk away as the lone survivor, but the war was far from over. Wade Barrett would eventually defeat John Cena, forcing him to join the group. While in the group, John was able to win some gold, capturing the tag titles with David Otunga. But when Cena wouldn't fall in line, he would be fired. In a last-ditch effort, a final battle was set up. Wade Barrett versus John Cena in a chairs match at TLC. Cena would defeat Barrett and dismantle the Nexus piece by piece, and ended the night burying Barrett under a pile of chairs. This is Cena's 6th appearance in the top 10. His last was in 2008. At number 5, Doug Williams. After the British invasion dissolved, Doug Williams decided to focus on a solo run and the X Division. But instead of the high-flying cruiserweight style everyone knew and loved, he purposely decided to take a more wrestling-based technical style to his opponents. He'd capture the X Division title and defeat the likes of Shannon Moore, Kazarian, Brian Kendrick, and Sabu. He joined Fortune in its war with EV2, but soon decided to stand out on his own. By the end of the year, he would turn against Fortune and defeat former stablemate AJ Styles to capture the TV title. At number 4, the Monster Abyss. Despite having a successful year, it felt like Abyss wasn't wrestling for himself. He was only serving Hogan and Bischoff. He'd start the year off by beating his hero Mick Foley in a no DQ match. At Lockdown, as a part of Team Hogan, he'd beat Team Flair in Lethal Lockdown. He had a couple of matches with Desmond Wolfe over Hulk Hogan's Hall of Fame ring. Really. Their second encounter was a Monsters Ball match, which Abyss won. He'd go on to beat Rhino in a Falls Count Anywhere match. It was around this time that Abyss was telling everyone that they were coming. They wound up being Immortal, which Abyss would end up joining as an enforcer. He'd go on to beat the Pope, D'Angelo De Niro, twice. Once in a lumberjack match, which the lumberjacks were all D'Angelo's boys and his brother, but Bischoff was able to pay them off to turn on him. Their last encounter was a casket match, which Abyss beat Pope. This is Abyss's third appearance in the top 10. His last was back in 2006. At number 3, Sabin. This was the year the Motor City Machine Guns finally won the big one. They had a couple of number 1 contender matches that they won, one over Generation Me in the Ultimate X match, and a triple threat match against Beer Money and Team 3D, but they kept falling short. However, when they took on Beer Money for the vacant tag titles, they finally won them. This would set up a feud with Generation Me, with the Guns coming out on top in all 3 matches, including a Full Metal Mayhem match. They also had the honor of defeating Team 3D in Team 3D's retirement match. This is Chris Sabin's third appearance in the top 10, with his last being back in 2007. At number 2, Shelley. See number 3. And finally, at number 1, Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam, the whole effing show. RVD made his return to pro wrestling and made his way straight to the top. In fact, he didn't lose one match on pay-per-view all year. First, he defeated Cowboy James Storm in a cage match to determine who got the drawing advantage in Lethal Lockdown, and then would go on with Team Hogan to defeat Team Flair in Lethal Lockdown. He then won the world title and had successful title defenses against AJ Styles, Sting, and a fatal 4-way match with Abyss, Jeff Hardy, and Mr. Anderson. He'd also headlined Hardcore Justice in a hardcore match with Sabu. Unfortunately, an injury would cause him to be stripped of the title. When he returned, he joined EV2 in their war with Fortune, and then later Immortal. He'd beat Abyss in a Monsters Ball match. While trying to discover if there was a mole in EV2, he'd faced Tommy Dreamer in a no DQ match. But in the end, Rhino turned on EV2. Rob Van Dam would end the year by beating Rhino in a First Blood match. This is Rob Van Dam's third appearance in the top 10. His last was in 2001. In fact, he's the 4th person to ever be ranked number 1 twice. He joins Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Sting on that short list. So congratulations to everybody who's in the top 10 of 2010.